Welcome into another edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. Ulises, we promised the audience part 2 of the 40-man episode arc, if you will. We have it today.
Yes, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and we are... Man, this is really fun stuff. So if you want to follow along with your own monitors, please go ahead, because that's what we're gonna be doing. And let's get started right now, Kev.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram. And we love the mailbag questions, comments, concerns, hot takes, and the voice memos. People are emailing us a lot. We do like those voice memos. And what happens is it's like TSA pre-check. You just go to the front of the line when you send us that voice memo. So send us that whenever you can. 60 seconds or less would be nice. All right, Ulises, where we stand on our 40-man roster exercise. We went through the 60-day IL guys. We went through the eligible free agents.
Yeah.
We chopped and ticked away at our 40-man, which was 46 men when we started. We are now down to 42 men, and not even getting into the whole Wander Franco situation because he's not even on the 40-man roster. So at some point in the future, you may have to account for him, but that's more of a 2024 question. We're just focused, less than a week after the World Series. So now, what are we getting into? We're getting into the pitchers and position players that are currently on the 40-man that may potentially be on the chopping block and the arbitration eligible players for the Rays. Is that correct?
Yes. TLDR. For those who did not see Friday's episode, but you should go ahead and watch Friday's episode because it's way more in-depth than what I'm about to say here. But yes, Calvin Fauché from the 60-day IL is the only name out of 7 that we shipped off. Out of 3 free agents, Davinsky, Diekman, Stevenson. Adieu to the 3 of them. And that's how we got to 42 men out of 46. So we are still 2 above board. And now is the time that we get to look at arbitration eligible guys who are probably the next on the chopping block after 60-day IL. And free agents, there are, so people that do not have this information right in front of them can follow along. There are 16 arbitration eligible players, which is basically what you're just used to now as a Rays fan, which is wow. So 16 of these guys. Out of these 16, Kevin, I found through 4 guys that I'm willing to part ways with. 4 guys from the arbitration eligible guys. Should we run down the names, the 16 names, so people are a little
let's
bit
run
more...
down all 16 names to paint a picture.
I will also say the amounts that they're owed, just so people can also get a better picture.
That the estimates.
Yes.
Arbitration projections.
Correct, by MLB Trade Rumors, which are honestly really, really close to what ends up happening. So Randy Arozarena, $9 million. Aaron Savale, 4.6. Harold Ramirez, 4.4. Shane McClanahan, 3.6. Isaac Paredes, 3.2. Jason Adam, 3 mil. Raimel Tapia, 2.4. Christian Bethancourt, 2.3. Andrew Kittredge, 2.3. Drew Rasmussen, 2.2. Colin Poche, friend of the program, 2.1. Sean Armstrong, 1.8. Jalen Beeks, 1.8. Zach Littell, 1.7. Josh Fleming, 1 million. And Cole Sulcer, 900,000. Just as a little aside, you look at this list and Cole's like, come on, man. I'm the only one that doesn't get a mil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mil doesn't get you much anymore. You can't even buy a house for that. You can get like a
we
pole
would know.
barn or
Yes,
something.
we would know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You can get like a shotgun home or something. In a bad area. So you mentioned there are 4 guys that you are comfortable and satisfied with parting ways with.
Yes, and from those arbitration eligible guys from those 16, I'm willing to part with 4 right away, without even a thought.
And I'm guessing that does not include Isaac Paredes or Shane McClanahan, or you get the picture.
Yeah.
So how about this?
Okay.
There were 3 that really jumped out to me. So I'm really curious to hear your 4th. I think we're going to agree on these 3.
Yes.
So I'll just roll them off.
Yes.
Raimel Tapia.
Correct.
No way that the Rays are paying him $2.4 million estimated.
No way.
No chance.
No chance.
Jalen Beeks, $1.8 million.
Correct.
And we just more or less filled his void, his role with Garrett Clevenger. And then maybe you can use that $1.8 million to bring back Jake Diekman in the future. I don't know. Just an idea. And Cole Sulcer as well.
Yeah. Those 3, I think, are pretty much easy. I think people might fight the Jalen Beeks. Some people might fight Jalen Beeks, which is understandable. Because they don't want to let go of the Nate Eovaldi midseason trade. Mm-hmm. It's fine. We all have those traits that we don't want to let go of. However, Jalen Beeks, man, like, it's just, even if you look at expected rates, expected ERA, and expected FIP, it still wasn't a great season. Like, his expected ERA was going to be like 3.6. His xFIP was like 4.4, like 4.40. Right. I mean, yeah, the home run rate decreased, but the walks increased. It's just, I don't think you pay $1.8 million for a guy who's going to give you a 5+ ERA in 40 innings pitched.
Over 40 innings. It'd maybe be different if it was over 100, 110. Even that isn't that wonderful, but at least you're eating up innings, and he's not even doing that.
Because
I'm giving you quality innings in the least. Really.
I just know you as a Rays fan for a long time. Bullpen is our expertise. They can do it. They can build it out of nothing. Literally. Mm-hmm. Did you not see May this year? So I don't think you would be paying $1.8 million to Jalen Beeks.
Okay. And I'm sort of have an idea of where that 4th name is for you, but I do want to hear it.
Okay. Some people are going to be upset with me because of this name. So I'm going to have to eat it in the YouTube comments. By the way, fill up YouTube comments with whatever you think that you in agreement with, or that you completely disagree with. We need Cole Sulcer.
Yeah. And before you answer this, before you put this in the ether, in the YouTube comments immediately, right now, in the chat or in the comments or both, I don't care. Who is the 4th player? Who is the missing link that Ulises has in his mind? I'm going to run through the 16 names again. Adam, Armstrong, Arozarena, Beeks, Bethencourt, Savali, Fleming, Kittredge, Littell, McClanahan, Paredes, Poche, Ramirez, Rasmussen, Sulcer, Tapia. We already took care of Beeks, Sulcer, Tapia. Who is that 4th name? Well, October baseball is back, and you can make your postseason debut with FanDuel. They are America's #1 sportsbook. You should know that by now. Join FanDuel today, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to create that new account of yours. Then you can get in on the action from the first pitch until the last out. Bet on everything from strikeouts to homers to who will win the dang ball game. And if you don't want to wait the entire game to get a W, well, you can predict what will happen in the next at bat with a neat feature called Quick Bets. So head on over to fanduel.com/LOCKEDON right now. Step up to the plate this postseason with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
Again, people are not going to be happy with me. You might not be happy with me.
Is it a position player or a pitcher?
It's a position player. And if
You're going with Harold Ramirez?
And no, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not this time around. He stays alive for this round.
Okay. What is it? This is a Squid Game.
Yeah, this is Squid. Yeah, basically.
Well, I had a couple points. Squid Game for this exercise. The other is now I sort of understand a little bit what it feels like to be on Hard Knocks or to be an NFL GM where you start off and you have 100 guys in training camp and you have to whittle it down to 80, then 70, and you have to find you have to scratch and claw to get to 53 men. And it's very, very difficult, very, very challenging. And there's some really, really tough decisions, and players that you don't keep around go on and have success elsewhere. That's just the nature of the beast. That's just the nature of you can't keep unlimited guys on your roster.
The crazy thing is, Kevin, is that in the off season, we could do a 40-man roster episode every day for like a month.
For sure. Yeah.
It's endless. But we won't do that, people. So don't worry. So I saw a trend in September with the eye test, which many people hate nowadays. Grandpa voice. And in all of September, there was a tandem that flipped completely. It flipped from 3-1, from 2-1, from 1-1, and then 1-2. If you are getting, are you understanding what I'm saying to you?
I'm guessing this guy wears the tools of ignorance.
Where's the tools of the?
Tools of ignorance. Have you never heard that phrase?
No.
I thought that's what the phrase was for somebody that plays catcher.
Oh my, you're giving me a flashback. Yes, you're right. Yes, 100% you're right. Yes, on the
it's
phrase.
It's a nickname for catcher's equipment.
Yes, exactly. No, you're 100% right. I blanked out on there. You're 100% right on the phrase, and you're 100% right on the
term, just to make sure I'm not lying here, it's actually on MLB.com's website.
Yeah, you're right.
It is a nickname for the catcher's equipment. More context here. The term is meant to point out the irony that a player with the intelligence needed to be effective behind the plate would be foolish enough to play a position that required so much safety equipment.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right. Had a senior moment there. Yes. So that man is Christian Bethancourt. He lost his spot. And look at the playoffs. Dude didn't even play.
Yeah.
Dude didn't even play. Not even as a, hey, can you catch these last 2 innings because we feel bad for you? No, we're not doing that.
Right.
No, it's Pinto. Pinto's our guy now. Pinto's our guy.
And a rookie, too. A rookie catcher. It'd be one thing like if it was Mejia or Mike Zunino or heck, even Alex Jackson, somebody who had like some, maybe not Alex Jackson, but you get the idea of a guy who had some
Mejia
experience under his belt.
Yeah.
And they totally turned to Pinto.
So I think we gotta read between the lines here. And once you see that September flipping from Pinto to from Bethancourt to Pinto, and then no show whatever in the wild card series, albeit 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm going off with that theory. CB is going to be cut off.
I'm understandable of that, and I guess that kind of looks ahead to the Rule 5 eligible players where there are a couple at least catchers who could be added or should be added to the 40-man. I'll just say this. I do wonder, whether or not they bring back Bethancourt for the projected $2.3 million. Have the Rays ever, or are they comfortable going with a tandem, when the season starts, when we get to late March, early April, of essentially 2 rookies, of essentially 2 guys between Pinto and whoever that other person is that have a combined, couple dozen major league games under their belt together?
I don't see that as their number one option, but I feel like it's about time that's something that they need to do.
They need to restart and reset and figure out who's going to be their long-term catcher. And it's kind of like NFL teams where we're just going to keep rotating and drafting quarterbacks until we find one that works.
Just have a friendly competition where, hey guys, it's not to get too dark here, but do you remember The Dark Knight?
I do. I think I watched it somewhat recently.
Okay. There's a part where the Joker breaks a pool stick in half, and then just puts 50% of the pool stick and goes the guy that wins goes in our team or whatever he does. Kind of like that. Hey, whoever kills it in spring training, guess what? You're a major leaguer. Opening day.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
It breeds and fosters competition and battle. Whoever's willing to work the hardest and show themselves up deserves it and earns it at that point.
If it's a good competition, Kevin, which I am sure that it will be, guess what? Hey, you're a next guy up. There's an injury. There's something that we don't like about this guy. Boom, we can call you up. They're both rookies, so you don't have to play with that whole ego thing. There will be shuttling. I don't know. I feel like so many times in the past we have seen race catchers just succeed everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's getting annoying. So one of those 2 guys, Blake Hunt and Logan Driscoll, I got to tell you, let's have a competition with in-house. So if they end up succeeding somewhere else because you trade them or whatever,
right?
At least we can say as a fandom, well, they tried and they really, you didn't pull a John Jaso, you didn't pull a Stephen Vogt, you didn't pull a Robinson Chirinos. You actually had these guys and you made them play and you saw what they could do.
Correct. No, that's fair. And also, we did the Rays a favor. We just saved roughly $7.4 million in payroll.
That is correct.
So, so I think we have that answered. I'm on the same page on the arbitration eligible guys.
Okay.
So now, how would you like to move forward? Do we move to the 40-man roster, guys that the Rays are, I guess, going to non-tender or not keep around? How are we?
Well, first let's keep the math intact. So we started with 42 in our 40-man roster, and we said goodbye to Tapia, Sulcer, Beeks, and Bethancourt.
And we actually didn't say goodbye. We said get the F out.
Yes, very Ari Gold entourage.
YouTube Ari Gold, get the F out, and that's what you have.
That's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did in a very polite way. Looking at spread cell sheets.
Yeah, we're basically like the Rays. We just look at the numbers. We're bean counters at this point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You should be wearing your glasses, man.
I know. Well, I've got my contacts in, so I'm almost there.
There you go. Okay,
Dogs
so
chewed up my glasses. I'm not lying. They literally chewed up the glasses like they're mangled. It's a mess.
not good. So we started with 42. We got rid of those 4 more names. So that gives us 2 more spots from 42 minus 4. That's 38. So we have 2 more spots. Boy.
That's
not a lot.
That's a challenge. No.
And
And typically, I mean, just going back to last year, I haven't looked up 2020 or 2021, but last year, the Rays protected 5 players from the Rule 5 draft.
Wait, we forgot. You said I didn't want Greg Jones, but you said you wanted Greg Jones. But you said that you would also ship off Vidal Brujan. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So then we just made another. No, did we make another spot? Yes, we did. Exactly. So now we've said goodbye to 9 guys. Fauché, Tapia, Davinsky, Diekman, Stevenson, Sulzer, Beeks, Bethancourt, and Brujan. That's 9. We started with 46 guys on the 40-man roster. So 46 minus 9 gives us 37. So we have 3 spots, and I'm just going to run down the names I put for Rule 5 eligibility.
Okay.
Real quick. Blake Hunt, Logan Driscoll, Heriberto Hernandez, Cameron Meisner, Austin Shenton, Ronnie Simon, Willie Vasquez, Ruben Cardenas, Tanner Murray, Diego Infante, Nico Holsizer, Evan Edwards, Shane Sasaki, Cole Wilcox, Ian Seymour, JJ Goss, Evan Reifert, John Duxakis.
That's tough because there are a lot of familiar and solid names on that list. Look, I like to protect 15 guys, but you can't.
You can't.
Obviously. I mean, going back to your Christian Bethancourt point, I think Blake Hunt is a no-brainer.
I think Blake Hunt is a no-brainer. I think you have to protect him. I think he was lucky that he wasn't taken a couple years now. Right. So I think you do have to. And honestly, like if you look at his game logs from AA and AAA, just to give people some context, in AA and AAA he played 30 games and then 37 games in AAA. So he had 6 home runs in each stop, between an 18 to 24% K rate. Okay. An 8% walk rate, an 815 OPS between the 2 leagues, a 105 WRC plus between the 2. So I feel like this is when you say, okay, kid, what do you have? What can you show us?
Yes. No, I agree. And he clearly has it between the ears as well in our interview with him a couple of years ago. Now, not to go too off script here, but are we taking into account non-tenders?
I believe non-tenders will come in later.
Okay.
I think, but I mean, if you wanted to like allude to them, sure. When we say,
I didn't know if we can go ahead and say, hey, we're non-tendering, for example, Cooper Criswell, that would open up a spot for another Rule 5 dude.
If you want to play it that way, we could.
Okay.
I will allow it in this rule of game. So that's the first one. I think we both agree on that, on Blake Hunt.
Okay. Yes.
So that would give us to 38. So we have 2 more spots. It's your turn. Is from that list of now 17 players left. Who do you want to take?
Well, I think you need one more position player and a pitcher. And I'm having a tough time figuring that out. And I'm wondering if we should actually add a second catcher to the list.
Yeah, me too. I think so too. I think
if you're not bringing back Bethancourt, and I mean Francisco Mejia got DFA'd. Like, what do they think about him going forward? I mean, maybe it is just turning a new leaf completely, and letting it be a battle competition between Hunt and Driscoll.
Honestly, that would be fun for me as a fan.
Yeah.
To like see Logan Driscoll and Blake Hunt just go at it. And Rene Pinto too. Hey, guess what? Nothing's guaranteed for you, pal. Like, let's keep showing us what you did in 2023.
Yeah.
Venezuelan bump and all.
Right.
I want those three guys to just go head to head. I think that would be a really cool thing to see develop as a race fan. Now, again, people are going to be screaming for a free agent catcher, a Jan Gomes or somebody like that. Like, I get it. I understand. Of course, that's going to be the thing. But I don't know. I'm after our free agent catching not so great history. I want to see what we have in-house just for once. Can we just see in-house what we have?
They've been working with the pitchers for years. They've been working with the roving coaches, learning the Rays way.
Yes.
Putting one knee down. And I mean, it's obviously a lot more involved and in tune than that, but you've been working with these guys for years now.
It's how you look at the scouting reports. It's how you do the catchers meetings. It's how you do all of this stuff. So,
and fitting the culture, fitting the clubhouse. That's a big part of it.
100%.
Are you a good fit?
Yeah.
And you're the batter, you're the leader as a catcher. That's an important factor. So, all right. So those are two guys. And I might even have to walk back okay. I picked Logan Driscoll, so I'm going to put the hot seat on you. Who is your 40th man here?
You guys can call me out on this. You can call me out on this if you want to on the YouTube comments. 100%. I'll take the heat. I don't care. I'll even respond to the comments. I'm still butthurt about the lack of offense in the postseason. I understand small sample size, variance exists. I get that. But right now, in my state of mind, in my mental health of seeing no offense whatsoever in October, I want to see some competition, some kind of, hey, this kid might have it. Can we see what he's got? And that name for me is somebody that we've talked about, like not that long ago, Kevin, on this podcast. And his name is Austin Shenton. He is a third baseman, a first baseman. He played in AAA. He's 25 years old, which in 2023, that's kind of like, okay, is it happening or is it not happening? But just for you guys' knowledge, 14 home runs. He's got some pop. But then look at this very yummy slash line. He hit 301, a 432 on base, not a typo, and a 603 slug. Okay, that's a 158 WRC plus. This is the type of numbers that in AAA give me some like, okay, even if he takes a dent by facing major league pitching, he could still be above average, at least WRC plus wise. So I'm intrigued with Austin Shenton. Want some offense. You are looking at Yandy Diaz, who might not be playing third next year at all. And if you're
how much did he play third this year?
Exactly. So that gives you an intent, like they're not gonna be looking for Yandy to play third. And then honestly, after seeing him struggle in that game one, the wild card series, and trying to keep him healthy, plus a name that we said not 12 minutes ago, Harold Ramirez, who is the de facto DH. You get rid of him. Now you have Yandy Diaz as a DH, and now first baseman has a little bit of competition now. So Austin Shenton, I would protect him. And also, when you're putting those numbers in AAA, people know about this kid already. And that's somebody that I think more than one team is willing to roll the dice and start with him in their 26-man roster.
I understand that. And I don't or won't wholly disagree with that. I would like to protect a pitcher, but based on the pitchers that we've read off, I don't know if any of them would be plucked away. I don't know if there's the concern of another team. Is another team really going to stash them on their 40-man with the expectation of playing them or utilizing them, are they going to waste a spot for Wilcox, Goss, Reifert, Doxakis? I would like to just to, cross my T's and dot my I's, protect and Seymour, but again, he pitched like less than a handful of innings at Double-A this year. So I don't know but then again, teams are really moving relievers up the pipeline through the minor league system. So that gives me a little bit of pause and leeriness because we did put out the pasture a lot of relievers already through this exercise.
Yeah.
And it could be sooner rather than later. Let's give even Ian Seymour a shot.
I think Seymour is a good name. I'm not worried about Wilcox because although the ceiling could still be high, he has had so many injuries that I think teams
and he put
are
up
not
terrible numbers. And I mean,
Yeah.
Look, it goes beyond the numbers because he's still working himself back.
So bad numbers and injury history so far. Like that's not a recipe for, hey, let's get this guy. No.
And my God, I mean, I don't know if the Rays organization or fan base can take it if he goes somewhere else and has success somewhere else. Talk about a gut punch for
Blake Snell.
That trade, the Blake Snell trade. Yeah. I mean, that would be the death knell.
Yeah.
That deal. Well, I mean, you just hope that Blake Hunt turns into a superstar or something.
Yeah, because Mejia, Patino, swipe.
Yeah.
Swipe left. You've got, so that's with Wilcox. I am interested in Seymour. I understand that point. Evan Reifert, he's got nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in the Arizona Fall League last year, and he was putting ridiculous numbers. AAA this year, at least he should be in AAA level to start the year. I wouldn't be opposed to protecting Seymour or Reifert.
Okay.
But let's make it more difficult on us. If you have to pick one of these guys, give me a name from the 40-man. Who's leaving?
Did we already take Cooper Criswell off the roster?
Nice. Good catch. No, we did not. So Cooper Criswell, thank you for all you have done, sir. But you out.
Yeah.
And then Seymour or Reifert, because Criswell could give you a bit of length. I don't think Reifert could do that. Seymour could.
I would go with
or do you
Seymour.
Take the stuff?
And if we're going down the list, I mean, is there really any reason to tender a contract to Tristan Gray?
Ooh, there are going to be mad people in the comments.
Really?
Well, Ian Seymour, though, dude, like, only Double-A this year and only pitched 4.
I was looking at Reifert. He's pitched only 3 innings above A-ball.
Okay, so then maybe we're just like exaggerating, and they're not going to be picked at all. I think they're not.
Yeah, that could be a possibility as well. But I can and would see a scenario, just to put a bow on this.
Yeah.
Of you do something, i.e., get rid of Cooper Criswell, get rid of Tristan Gray, and then that opens up spots for those Rule 5 eligible players, whoever they choose to keep around. Is that fair?
Heriberto Hernandez could be one of them. Ronnie Simon, 750 OPS, 98 WRC plus. He plays second, short, and third. Heriberto Hernandez is a corner outfielder, 787 OPS.
And we're hearing a lot about Willie Vasquez too. So even though maybe the numbers don't really express it, if they,
but it's high A though, Kev.
I know, but they protected Greg Jones
in Double-A.
Yeah, 24 years old. I don't know.
I think
they do some quirky things.
I think if we keep it to Blake Hunt, Logan Driscoll, and Austin Shenton, we're being hot takey by putting 2 catchers, but right. I think still conservative. That's by only keeping 3.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm curious to see what the listenership has to say. Give us your takes on all this 40-man mess, because it is a mess
It's
that
a
the Rays
mess.
have to sort through and work through. That's why Neander and Bendix and all the other peons get paid the big bucks.
That's
You
right.
work on these things and figure these things out and crunch the numbers and work really hard administratively to put the queens and the kings and I don't know all the chess terminology, put everybody in the right spot and get things situated by the drop dead date.
So if we did take Cooper Criswell off, that means that our 40-man roster sits at 39. Look at us. We went one above 39, just in case.
Keeping a spot open for thou who shall not be named.
That's right.
The guy who had basically a 6 WAR through 110 games this past season, and then somehow, some way, some shape was noticeably absent from the roster through August, September, and October.
Just
and not because
awful.
of injury.
Nope, just because of awful news or
There we
allegations. Okay, so that was fun. I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed that episode. I think it's more obviously there was a lot of prep for this episode, but it's also kind of fun to just do it off the cuff, not knowing what the moves are going to be, so we can have good conversation. So I hope you guys enjoy that as well. We're going to read all of your comments, so drop the comments down. We read them, all of them. We try to answer as many of them as we can.
Yeah, we could actually read them on the next episode, perhaps Tuesday or Wednesday's episode, maybe address some of the comments that come through and fight through those. And again, just to add on to this, we're not taking into account like the prospect or the possibility of, I mean, we did use it a little bit in our thought process, but it's not like we have an inkling that Tyler Glasnow is going to be traded. Manny Margot is going to be traded.
Right.
Maybe start with Manny Margot, because I don't know if we agree on the Tyler Glasnow one, but that Manny Margot won't be on the 2024 roster. But for the sake of by early November, he's going to be on the 40-man roster. He's not going to be traded before then.
I agree with that. Will we have a episode on Tuesday, or are we skipping Tuesday and recording?
Good point. We will probably be back on Wednesday, November 1st.
So Wednesday,
and we might have to do. Oh, here's the other thing we forgot to do.
What?
We might have to do it on November 1st. Our scary, what makes us scared episode, Halloween extravaganza.
Oh gosh, we got to put that on YouTube, on Twitter too.
Yeah, I got to recall how we worked through that, but there is some messaging that we put forth. You know, what would really spook you? Something happens to the Rays, a player, or the organization in 2024.
I think 99% of the answers are going to be exactly the same now.
Thou who shall not be named.
Yeah.
The status of thou who shall not be named.
The status of, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. We might have to add like a qualifier. Please leave out all your
the obvious spooky
scenario.
one, besides the obvious scary one, what else are you scared of?
No. Yeah, we'll have to, maybe we incorporate that with the 40-man comments and have a little bit of fun on
that sounds like a great
episode.
Wednesday episode. That sounds like a great Wednesday episode. Read your YouTube comments, read your Twitter comments. So leave them, and then what spooks?
Yeah. As we continue to do this episode, I was sliding down lower and lower into my chair.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the guy from The Office, Krasinski.
Jim.
What's his name in the show? Jim. I was like Jim, where he's in the car trying to avoid being seen.
It's a great gift. Yeah.
I may have done that in real life once or twice. All right.
Hello.
Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.